So the Green Line has been this great drama for Somerville, but of course the Green Line's history is much older than that. Can you tell us a little bit about how that history happened and why it matters for Somerville?
Sure. So the city now for years has been fighting for the expansion of a light rail system, and in the inner core of Boston, the transportation system is defined by colors. The Green Line is a light rail system that ends right near Somerville's border in Cambridge.
And what's the history of that? When was the Green Line first built?
It goes back, I forget, about at least 50 years,
right, yeah.
I believe, ancient. And as we know, Boston had the first subway system. There's always been, now going back 40 plus years, the conversation of bringing the Green Line all the way out to Medford, for Somerville, on the Prospect Hill. So when the federal government approved the depression of the Central Artery, it was one of the largest civil engineering projects in the world, the Central Artery system, which was an elevated highway system, which really caused a lot of environmental, economic, and other problems in the greater Boston metropolitan region. And they're going to put that underground.
What we call the Big Dig.
The Big Dig, people know it, and it was highly successful, very expensive. The state had to agree as part of their state implementation plan as a consequence of that project, because the project itself, though it had great positives, during the project there were negatives, including there would have been more traffic congestion in communities like Somerville, more health consequences. So as part of the remediation, one of the things they were required to do is to extend that light rail system called the Green Line through Somerville. And even though they had to do that legally, and they agreed to, since the 1990s, the most recent battles, they've reneged on that agreement, have tried to skirt that requirement, and we've had to take them to court, and with other groups, nonprofits called the Conservation Law Foundation and other activists, to force the Commonwealth's hand to do what they were required to do. Under Governor Deval Patrick, they agreed it was a requirement, and actually it started under Mitt Romney, but really under Governor Deval Patrick we advanced it, and we were actually applied for a federal grant, and the federal government under President Obama has approved $1 billion, which is sitting and waiting for the Green Line extension to match the state funding to make it happen. So it is a complex project that's gone through its history of the government reneging on its legal requirements, and most recently, 2 years ago, actually a little over a year ago, we put a pause on it, even though we started construction, because there was mismanagement at the state level. Governor Baker, who supports the project, has undertaken a recalibration, a rescoping, and reprocurement of the project, which we're undertaking now. And the hope is over the next few months, or at least by the spring, the federal government will release their $1 billion federal grant, which is dedicated to the Green Line, because they see the same benefits we do. It unlocks an incredible economic opportunity for the region and the Commonwealth, not just Somerville, but it brings transportation equity and environmental equity to some long-term environmental justice zones in Somerville.